Hey, yo. Listen, I got a blog about this, because as y'all know, I'm still upset with my government for, especially the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., for passing a bill about people who created and grouped themselves into a homosexual lifestyle. And so this is the problem. Now, some people said to me, what do you have against gay people? Why do you hate gay people? I'm like, I don't have anything against gay people. Oh, no, they said, why don't you let the gay people be gay? I have no problem with you being gay. You can do what you want, and as if I could stop you anyway. I understand being homosexual is you have to. It's an action. Like you can restrain, you can control. I know they say they don't have any control over their sexual selves, but it's not like going up to a black person and saying, "Hey, you can't be black anymore." So I never ask. Like we can't do that. Okay. We can't stop being black, okay? Yeah, you can change your behavior, or you can decide not to do it, or not to experiment, or not to go along with the crowd, or do it just because everybody is doing it, or because they said it's okay. That's my problem. But the government says it's okay, and passing things like that into law. I have a problem with the government, not with people. I have a problem with, we fight against powers. The government is a power. Powers and principalities, not against the flesh. Not against, we fight not against flesh, meaning people, but powers and principalities are there. You can go read that. It's in the book. I didn't make it up. That's where I'm, that's my issue. So a government beyond that is the intellectual problem I have with it. The acceptance of it is the intellectual problem. Okay. Let's say, all right, and matter of fact, President Clinton, not President, Secretary of State Clinton, I really think that they made a deal. They made a deal with the homosexual Democrats, the politicians. There's a bunch of those politicians who, like I think they were just caught. A lot of them were caught on a porn board and stuff like that, on their job, on the porn board. See, that's why they need a home business. They can get on a porn board and nobody could say nothing to them, So, I'm not downing anybody for what they do. I do a few things my darn self, matter of fact, and that's my only problem, is that the homosexuality is right next to adulterer and stuff like that. So, this is, and I'm sure my sentence is in the Bible too, maybe on more than one page, okay? I'm just saying, My thing is that when you try to make sense out of that, when you say that people need to have benefits for spending time or having sex with each other, I'm going to clear my ears so I made sure that I can hear myself say that. I want to make sure, at least if you didn't hear what I just said, that I heard what I just said. Okay, so let me repeat it again to myself so you can understand what I just said. People who are just spending time together. People are just spending time. That's all homosexuality is. And they get some kind of benefit for that. If that's the case, making laws for people who are just spending time together, getting their compensation. I mean, literally, if that be the case, then they need to make laws that do get compensation for adulterers, people who are just effing, people who are just having sex. If you're a mistress, if you're a concubine, you deserve a benefit. There should be some kind of compensation, regardless if the man is married or not. You know, you deserve some type of compensation from the government or benefit. There should be a adulterer's law benefit or concubine. They at least used to have that. I give the people in the Bible credit for that. They used to take care of their hoes, you know, to go there. You know, Tiger Woods, you know, is not. I'm not ridiculing him. Tiger Woods, though, all them girls. This is what we have right now. All those girls are coming up and saying, look, we deserve some type of benefit. We deserve some type of compensation for giving this person pleasure. They deserve some type of compensation. They deserve some kind of recompense, you know, for spending, you know, time together. I mean, a lot of people like to brag about the sense of how much time they spent with somebody as if that legitimizes their relationship. So you have people that have been cheating on their husbands and wives for 15, 30 years. You know, they should deserve a benefit. I mean, Beyonce's father, the only Beyonce's thing, only reason that those women will get some kind of compensation if there's a life being born. So regardless if the man is married, then this woman will get compensation for it because a life is being born. A life is being born out. So now you have people that actually two men will get together and no life is being born. There is no life that comes out, or two women, there's no life being born out of it. So what bothers me about that is that the government is saying, D.C., Washington, D.C., and all those political people that are on Washington Hills looking at them porn sites and gay porn sites, you know, they found that out, that they, you know, that they've had so many hits on gay porn sites. Like I said, you need your own business. But you can do that. Anyway, my point is that what bothers me is that these people have created laws and said that it's okay, that it's natural, it's normal. Now I understand certain people have, you know, kind of, it's not the norm. You know, and that's what I have a problem. When the government condones it and they're saying it's norm, and then that feeds back down to other, you know, people, you know, adolescents who might be confused, may not understand, or, you know, a lot of the older men hitting on young boys, you know, they're in puberty, they're confused. So you have grown men hitting on young boys and situations like you have like at the Vatican and stuff like that, you know, where it can be very confusing to have a grown person. You know, a lot of them will, you know, especially when they're hitting puberty, they're already confused. So when the government condones it, it's a different situation. So here's the problem I have. There's a government that has the mentality or has the thinking power or has the logistics or the way that its processing center of logic and thought and morality handles and digests that kind of foolishness. That's what I have a problem with, their basic thinking pattern. And this is it. So basically, there's man and woman. When man and woman get together, there's all kind of pipes, internal workings, and they are fortified, let's say, by life. Okay, they are fortified by life to have not only the actual apparatuses to do these things, or apparatuses to actually have intercourse. And so they have intercourse, and it's plain as day that they have intercourse, and they have the internal plumbing, they have the uterus and all of that stuff to accommodate that. But then you have another group of people that supposedly are naturally made by life to have sexual and sex, yet they have none of the accommodations or the internal plumbing to actually make that work. So then the government has to supplement them and all the agencies, and then they start putting out the religious institutions because there is no God. So in order to say that that works, you have to say there is no God. That's the problem. You know, our country believe, and our country has always been, and the people that made up our country understood that there was a higher power. And so when there isn't a higher power, that already made sense, then they start making sense out of things that don't make sense because they're the ultimate highest power. And so that's the problem with homosexuality. It's no different from anything else. The problem with it is for them to justify it, they have to say there is no God or make their own. And so that's the problem, that it's not that it's a worse sin, it's just a stubborn sin. And it comes at God. It's it's one saying, okay, I'm a thief, I'm sorry, God. I'm an adulterer, I'm a sorry, God. No, I'm a homosexual, what, God? That's the problem. It's a very prideful in that way, arrogant in that way, that they would rather just get rid of. So anyway. So that's the problem. So I have a problem with the logic of someone who says, "Oh no, life created you to have your own kids and to create life and stuff like that." Heterosexuals, the whole group of heterosexuals, not one or two, not the 10%. Not the infernal. They're still heterosexual. And then homosexuals, okay, see, homosexuals try to claim infertile and sterile people, and that's not their group. They're heterosexual still. Homosexuals, none of them ever has the internal. So the intellect that says God actually made them to be like that, but did not provide anything for them to do it with. As Mr. Sulu said when he saw all the colors on the television, woo! Woo! That's just, woo! That jumps the track of reasoning. So anyway, since we're on that level of jumping the track, you have to, so homosexuals don't have kids, they don't do anything, they just spending time together. Hoes do that. There needs to be a government, prostitutes do that. There needs to be cheaters, adulterers, fornicators do that. There needs to be a law that if you're with somebody for a certain amount of time and you have sexual interaction, any type of sexual interaction, and it's not relegated to real intercourse. So if you're having oral and anal sex with somebody for a certain amount of time, you deserve benefits. Thank you all. God bless you all. Love you all.